Welcome to another Canny Conversations podcast. Today we're thrilled to have Pat Carvalho, the Principal and CEO of the Birmingham Metropolitan College. Pat's been the Principal and the CEO of Birmingham BMet since June 2021. Welcome to Canny Conversations podcast, Pat.
Okay, thank you.
Bearing in mind this after 4 consecutive Ofsted visits, which requires improvement, RI. So there's been a massive sort of transition. There's been a sort of change that's happened in the organisation, in the institution, and an institution that's made up of many different factors, many different subject areas, different communities. So talk to us about the makeup of Birmingham Metropolitan College, BMet.
Well, I think the first thing I would say is that it is a college made up of 2/3 that are individuals that are from Black and Asian and other ethnic minority communities. So it is a genuine mix. And I think that is one of the things that attracted me to come back to Birmingham, actually. Having been in where I was for so long, I wanted to be in a space where I thought I could recognise that space. I understood. I have an understanding about the communities. I have an understanding about what a college needs to do in this space. And I didn't want to, and I was applying to other colleges in places like East Sussex, and I was thinking, why am I going to somewhere with a demographic that I don't need to be in, that I can't give the best of me in? And then Birmingham came along.
Talk a little bit more about the college, because obviously it's a big thing in terms of when a college is going through the same old, I'll say. Yeah. But how have you been able to make that college? The institution, it's a large institution. Well, I've got some numbers and so forth, but it's a very large institution. It's like a tanker in some aspects of it. To turn that around, turn the culture around and make it more fit for purpose, if I can put that in quotes.
A member of staff said to me when I first joined BMet, she said, "Oh, you're a proper principal." And I'm really proud of that quote, because I see myself like other principals that I know. And a number of them come from the West Midlands, because you have to understand you have to understand that you're not just about you're not just about targets. You're actually about the individuals that make up the institution, and that's both your students and your staff. And at the end of the day, if you haven't got an understanding that you're here to serve the students that come to you from the different communities that come to you, and ultimately what they're trying to do, and having been at 16 myself in FE and so on, I understood it from a young person's point of view, and I understand it from a mature student's point of view, what FE can actually genuinely do. And to say that it actually transforms lives, is right. So you've got to have something at your core, because that's where as a leader, you're building the culture around that everybody believes in this.
Absolutely.
And it's about making it transparent and understood. And you can't underestimate the work that needs to go into that. Because you can get so far, you can genuinely get quite far without necessarily all of that gelling. But to make it, to consolidate it, and to come out of those, those 4 Ofsteds of requires improvement, there was an awful loss that the senior team, that the principal, myself, had to prove to staff that we were well behind. And for me, I was lucky coming along when I did, because the interim principal and indeed the chair, who's still our chair, Dexter Hutt, did a lot of work in the 2 years before I came around culture, to giving staff to giving them that fledgling confidence to actually do the right thing, and to have some urgency about it. And so I'm grateful because things have already been set up. You know, in terms of conversations with staff, that real challenge with some of our students and the thing about students is that they only do things if they think they can get away with it. It's like any teenagers, isn't it, mostly? Do you know what I mean? If you give them the rope, if you give them the space, that's what they do. It's not hard to understand that. Yeah. And so if people understand what the boundaries are and the structures are and why they're there, yes, you will always have outliers that don't want to agree with things and so on. But if the majority can see it and can feel it, they will want to be part of it. And for me, it was about making even more transparent the way that we wanted to operate. So the college already had something in place called Ready, Respectful, Safe. And that was quite key. It's something that still runs throughout the core of what we do. It's still part of that core. And we've taken and built up on that around, wider skills. That development of those wider skills that young people and anybody that comes to the college actually need to take them further into where they want to go. And so it was important to recognise where the college had got to. A lot of the finances and all the rubbish around the finances had been sorted out before I came along. So I came along at a cusp, which was great for me because I understood the journey. And I wanted to make sure that we were building on that journey and the good things that people are actually doing. And to try and make sure that we're weeding out those things, the things that were inconsistent and not, that consistency that you need across the college to actually really allow a culture to grow, and to kind of take you forward. And so there was so I did do a lot of challenging of, what are we looking at? How are we looking at things? How transparent do staff know, what their retention rates are? How students are staying at, how are they taking responsibility for that? Our managers taking responsibility for that. And just say, I'm used to having, systems that are open, that everybody can see. So they look at this exactly the same thing that I look at. And it may well be from their course level, but I will look at it from a college perspective, but I want to be able to drill down. So I'm like a lot of principals, I want to know what's happening in the college.
Canny Conversation Podcast Series 5 by Safaraz Ali.